Mitch with Joe Madden here with your Week 16 NFL betting show. We've got a slew of handicappers here with us today, so really, really excited for this awesome show. I did my 7 picks in 5 minutes already. You guys should be able to see that on YouTube. I sent it out in email form as well. I'm going to start doing that. Been a little more active with the emails. I don't want to send them every day, but I don't want to not send them at all. So I think 2-3 times a week is what I'm trying to do, or if something exciting is happening. I don't know. Christmas is over. Now it's kind of like that stretch into New Year's. It's always that interesting time. Kind of everyone's excited about something. And then you hit that New Year, and it's like, I know people, when I used to live in the north, I would just be cold. Joe, how you doing today?
Yeah, freezing up here. Yeah, doing good today. I love Boxing Day, though. I think it's, that down day. Got lots of sports today. Sunday, fun day, Boxing Day. What could be better, right? It's going to be a good day.
So I know in Canada it's a really big deal, Boxing Day, but what exactly do you box on the day? Do you box up all the stuff you don't want to bring back to the store? Or are you like boxing? Like what is the
completely?
What's the boxing?
Right, we're walking around boxing everything. No, you know what? To me, it's just a day to relax. You've had such build up before Christmas, so many things to get done. So many obligations. You've run around Christmas Day with family. Boxing Day is just a day where you can sit down, relax, eat all the delicious leftovers you have, because there's always so much, and watch sports. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah, it is going to be a good one. We have a decent NFL card here. We have a lot of players out and all that other stuff for illness, but no games are like canceled or postponed or anything like that. The show must go on. And I think, like Adam Silver said the other day in the NBA, it's like, this isn't going away. We just need to learn how to live with this thing, and that's it. And it's like it's time. And I'm not, this isn't a political or certainly not a medical show, that's for sure. But it's like I've lived my life through the entire thing, and I plan on continuing to do it. And we're just going to sit here and stick to picks and all that kind of good stuff. But we have a whole bunch of handicappers with us today. Yesterday, of course, a lot of them were out for these weekend shows, but let's bring in Kevin Thomas. He's got chomping at the bit, and Kevin, welcome to the show. Good morning.
Hey, thank you for having me, and I hope everyone had a great holiday yesterday.
So Kevin's going to be going forward. One of the things that he's going to be doing into the new year, and we're going to be talking about the new year, sporadically through here and the different things that we're going to be doing, and so Kevin's going to be contributing more content. We're not exactly sure what that means, but we know that he's going to be doing daily videos with us, and he's going to be, kind of how we got Ruffalo doing them, and I'm doing them, and Romanelli's doing, and Rod is in on the hockey and stuff like that. So Kevin's just going to have a daily video too, and he's going to have things with someday he might have a special offer for himself, or another days he might not be so special. It's like it is what it is, and but always plenty of action. Instead of it just being 100% Mitch all the time, we're just going to get the variety pack. But so week 16, how you feeling? You're right on top of the leaderboards there in the NFL.
I'm feeling good. My game was last night. Aaron Rodgers broke my man Brett Favre's record. I was happy to see that. Hopefully they finish the season strong, as a lot of us think he might become a Denver Bronco after this year. So I'm looking for the Super Bowl. So it was a great win, great cover for the Browns too. So a lot of sharp guys had the Browns there. So it was a great game. I'm just glad we got the win and got a lot of good food in us, and feeling a little heavier today, but other than that, get back to the gym tomorrow and start working that out.
Nice. So, yesterday, boy, that Cardinals kicker, horrible, right? I mean, laces out, right? Again, it just shows how close these games really are, and just how tough it is. It's like, the Colts with no offensive linemen at all. Move the ball down the field, which I at halftime, I said to Joe, I said, these guys aren't going to score another point. It's like, how are they going to move the ball at all? And, they managed to do it with Carson Wentz's quarterback. It was just pretty much amazing. The Colts, I just got to stay away from Colts games all the way. It's like,
I think so. They're becoming your Timberwolves.
Oh, my God.
Sorry, didn't mean to bring them up,
too. It's okay. It's okay. But yeah, we all have teams that just fleece us, both ways. Yeah. And it's like, we could admit it or not admit it, but we all know who they are. Mine are the Timberwolves and the Colts. The Colts.
I know the Patriots.
Coach.
Patriots all day long.
That coach. Such a all right. So what do you got for us today on the free picks?
Well, that's what I'm looking at. I just talked about Aaron Rodgers going to the Denver Broncos, and that's where I'm going with this pick. They're playing the Raiders, and this is a huge win game for both teams here. And my lean is going to be on the Denver Broncos. I'm taking it money line. I know it was -1, +1, even up. I think it was -1 last time I looked. They're starting Drew Lock at quarterback. He was supposed to be the main guy 2 years ago. Came in, everyone thought high praise about him. Then the year after that, so many interceptions. It was just they had. Which Denver can cover that, and they got nice young corners. They picked up in the draft, so I think this
Mitch,
could
we
be a
have no
revenge
sound
game.
for Kevin.
I fixed it.
Oh,
It should be.
Okay,
You
sorry.
should have it now.
should I repeat everything?
Right.
What did you get up to? What did you hear up to?
Sound back.
Yeah. What happened was I switched you out to a single frame, and
Okay.
the audio was not adjusted. I could actually switch it back and fix it. But so what happened was you were about a quarter of the way in, and I think up to the Henry Ruggs thing.
Like Drew Lock's getting his chance.
Right.
This is it for
Yeah.
him. He might be ending up going to another team, especially if they do go after Aaron Rodgers. Teddy Bridgewater, he's more of a secure passer. I like Locke. He's going to take deep threats, and you got the receivers on this team like Judy and stuff that haven't been used. They're going to get used in this game, even though they're going to lean heavy on the run with Williams. I still think that Locke's going to get his. He's going to make some big throws. He's going to want to impress other teams and even his own team. I think Denver rolls here. I think the Raiders' last 3 games have been horrible, and I think their last win against the Browns was they just, they walked into a nice situation with all the Browns starters on COVID. So I like Denver here to roll.
Joe?
This game completely scares me. We look at this team, divisional rivals here. I am gonna be honest with you guys. I am not touching it with a 10-foot pole. Home team is 8-3 against the spread in the last 11 meetings. The Raiders haven't been playing well, but you're gonna give me Denver here coming into Vegas at a pick'em. I'm not going to do it. Not going to touch either way. Not going to touch a total in this. We know the Raiders can give up a lot of points. They've allowed 26.7. And we have Denver's defense holding tight at 17.4. I could see this one, though, if the Broncos can put up the points. I can see it going over. I think this total looks a little bit too low. I think we hit 45, 46 in this one. That would be the only way I could take it over the total.
I think that, for me, Drew Lock, when he came out of Mizzou, was it 2 years ago? I really wanted the Dolphins to take him. I mean, we were in a different situation. The Dolphins were in a different situation then. And I really thought that he was the guy. This guy has a cannon arm. This guy does have that arm. He, at the time when he played for the Broncos, when he started, they didn't quite have this arsenal of weapons, and the receivers weren't quite as mature as they are now. And I think now, with the weapons that they have, healthy, Hamler, Jerry Jeudy, Font, right? These type of guys around him, and Melvin Gordon, maybe playing not quite the Melvin Gordon that he was before, but better than the Melvin Gordon that he was, a month or two ago. He's a better option at QB than Bridgewater. He has a better arm. Bridgewater, for me, is a little bit of a floater, and he always has been that way since he decommitted to Miami and went to Louisville. So, the thing is that, he just his arm strength, as soon as he did that, that was pretty much the end of that relationship for me. But I just think that Drew Lock, I think, could be, actually the better option here and maybe a longer-term solution, if not for the Broncos, for somebody else. I do. He did it at Missouri against SEC competition. It's not like he was, some whack, MAC quarterback or something, or, played at, Division II level, and it's like, oh, he's got this high ceiling, I'd way rather have him than a guy like Trey Lance or something. That's for sure.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
Agree also.
Anyways, just my 2 cents.
So which way are you taking it?
This game?
Yeah.
Oh, over all the way.
Over all the way?
All the way. Bombs away.
I think so.
I think they're going to throw deep over the top. This guy can throw the ball 60 yards on a rope. He has a cannon. I think that we saw from where Drew Lock makes the mistakes is not he throws they get behind and he forces. That's one of the things that he does. And the other thing that he does is that he does throw the John Elway 5-yard bullet, where, there's nobody in the world that can catch this pass. It's like trying to catch a Nolan Ryan fastball with no catcher's mitt on. It's ridiculous. It's like a little bit of touch, just a little bit. And maybe that's something that they've been working on him with. Who knows? But that seems to be a little bit of a problem where he had Philip Lindsay, who's, of course, not on the Broncos anymore. He'd have him wide open in the flat, and he'd throw this thing. And it's like, it doesn't need to be this, this rocket every single time. You ever play catch with a guy that plays, a high level of baseball, and it's every throw has got to be this rocket that he throws at you. It's you don't even want to play catch anymore. It hurts. It's that hurts. I don't want to do that. It's
That's when you take your ball and you go home.
You know what? I just say, you know what? I don't feel like playing anymore. It's
I played softball with Brian Bittler. I'll tell you.
I got
like a rocket.
I played with a guy. I played with a guy that in college, I had this. I just would get the Island of Misfit Toys to play on my intramurals team. I had this guy that pitched for the Tigers. Man, this guy, you did not want to play catch with him. There was nothing fun about it. It's some 6'8" guy that throws the ball 400 miles an hour. Yeah, that's good times, man. It's you're basically running for your life every time he rears back to throw one. It's and Drew Lock does the same thing, does the exact same thing. So if he can avoid that, if he can, it's obviously not something that takes time, Phillip Rivers was able to do it, so,
Yep.
Sometimes.
But
he still was a forcer, tried to force it in.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I didn't even get to look at the player prop yet, but I'm definitely going to look in the lock, because if it's a 240 around there for over-under yards, I'm definitely going to go in on that, because I think he's going to want to show off that arm. And I think Judy is so excited to have him back, because he's been non-existent with Bridgewater, those short little slot passes. So
the guy,
I think we're going to see some big stuff.
The other receiver, what's his name? The other Denver receiver, is it Patrick or
Patrick?
Yeah, he disappears when Judy plays. So the prop is always the under everything for him if Judy plays.
So
I think Hamler's out. Hamler might be out, so they might just have Patrick and Judy on the ends. So then that would open up for Patrick as a slot, I'm pretty sure. I think Hamler is out, and Sutton might be out too.
The over-under for Drew Lock is 203.5 for passing yards.
Oh, I'm all over that. As soon as I get off the show, MGM, put it in.
Yeah, it's minus 110, so definitely worth it for sure.
I'll buy it up to 220. I honestly think it's going to be high.
Absolutely. Derek Carr, what's your thoughts on that? 245.5. Think he goes under?
I don't know. He's just been so bad lately, and I think it's because of no Waller, and I'm pretty sure he's been ruled out already. It was questionable when I was looking at this game, and when I didn't see no line movement, the Broncos starting a backup quarterback, backup, and then you got the Raiders off a win, and that's a pick 'em on their home field. So I'm pretty sure Waller's out because the backup Moreau isn't Waller. Waller will catch in stride and run 99 yards and score. So I don't know if Carr can do it, but he might be playing from behind. So if you guys like the over, then you have to go with Carr cashing the over there. But I'm not a fan of the over in this game. I'm more just taking the Broncos on the money line.
Yeah, so his last game against Cleveland, he got 236, but against Kansas City, he had 263, 249 against Washington, 373 against Dallas. So he's trending to the over.
The Browns defense was all protocol. You know what I mean? And the Chiefs, he was forced to play backup. So I think if they run the ball a little bit more, because Denver wants to run it, I don't know if Derek Carr is going to have the opportunity to throw that much. And I don't know. Renfro, he's good for 90 yards, 100. I don't know who else is going to get it unless Deshaun Jackson's still on the team. I don't even know. He just disappeared too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, his worst performance has been against Cincinnati and the Bears. 206 against the Bears, 215 against Cincinnati. So it's been an interesting day for Derek Carr.
What do you got for sale today over at PickDawgz?
You can get my 3 NFL. The Gridiron Gold 3-pack, great deal there. And I have a 3-pack in basketball. Last night I had the Nets. I've actually heated up in basketball, 57% winners for the season. So I like the basketball card. I love the NFL card too, but I also like the basketball card. So you can't go wrong with either 3-pack, or you can get them individually, or as always, you can do a long-term, save some money, and, get all the picks. You get all 6 of them. Take a 7-day, 30-day, or even the 99 Christmas and all year, the $99 special. You get them all. So lots of options.
That's awesome, Kevin.
Yep. I was just trying to get the link because you said they were at BetMGM. So I wanted to just put that in the comments of where people can bet that. So I put the link there. So full service here. That's what I was scrambling around doing.
I thought you were taking notes.
No, I'm just
the feedback to me next week.
No, you said it was at BetMGM, and I know some people they don't have.
So that's who I use. I used to use a shady guy that Brian hooked me up with a long time ago, and then we used to do the overseas stuff. But MGM treats me pretty good. I had problems with FanDuel, so. Maybe I shouldn't say that, but
no,
I like MGM.
We want to hear it. We're not, we have a relationship with MGM. We have a relationship with FanDuel. We have a relationship with DraftKings. Okay. We have a relationship with everybody, but I don't care. I don't care as much about my relationship with them as I care about my relationship with our community. So it's like, if there's something you don't like about that these guys, back in the day, we dealt with books that, didn't pay people. And it's like, I'm not going to advertise for you, we'll give you this and this. And it's like, who the hell do you think you're talking to? It's like, there's plenty of other sites that will take your money, but not what I'm going to do is the opposite, right? I'm going to tell everyone not to use you. It's like, we're going to not have a very good relationship, and I wouldn't say, I'm sure for your bad incident at FanDuel, we'll probably get 10,000 people that had great experiences. And, the same thing with BetMGM, people that have had great experiences and don't. I think, having multiple books, shopping lines, all those things, every book has good and bad. Every single one. I can tell you that. You can find good lines, bad lines. That's why I always tell people shop lines. I say it every day in every video. Shop lines. You have to shop lines. I've lost so many games in my lifetime where it's like I could have won if I bet it at a different book. I can't even tell you how many. It's like, not anymore. No way. I will not lose games because I'll lose games because I'm make bad, crappy pick, or, freaking kicker, right? But it's like, I'm not going to lose because of a half a point that I could have got it, by opening an account with $20 somewhere else, and just depositing money when I'm ready to bet, right? It's like, no way. I have those accounts ready to go. We're ready to go. It's like, I might need to make a deposit there. I might need to do whatever I need to do, but my accounts are ready to go. It's like, You know, in Vegas, I'm never afraid to walk across the street, you know, even before all of this other stuff. Oh man, I hate having the right bet, picking the right thing. Somebody else has the same team, same bet, except it's a half point difference or a point difference. They win, I lose, like, or push. No, it stinks, man.
I hate the push. I really hate the push.
Especially when somebody else won. Makes it even worse.
Right?
Yeah, you got to shop the lines. But it's like, you know, like I said, I'd way rather have an honest review than one that promotes one of our partners, you know, shamelessly. Because that's not what we're about, you know. It's not what we're about at all. We have plenty of partners, and they all have good and bad things. And I'm sure they have plenty of good and bad things to say about me, too. So, anyways. We did the promotion. We're all good. We're ready to go. I'm sure everybody's chomping at the bit.
Good. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Enjoyed it.
Have a wonderful
as
day,
always.
Kevin.
Take care, guys.
Take care.
See you, Joe.
Bye.
Kevin Thomas. That was probably the longest segment we've had him on for. It's quite some time. But
yeah, it was. I can't wait to see his videos coming out.
Yeah, me too. I'm excited.
It's going to be awesome.
I think that I think sometimes, you know, when you have like a guy in a capper picture and you have like the old time pictures, and some guys can pull it off the old time, right? And then other guys, you know, it just kind of doesn't show their personality. And I think, like, you know, for me, the old time capper, the older style capper pictures are the ones that work, are just a white shirt with the black tie. You know, those are okay. To me, though, when you start getting into the whole suit and tie and everything like that, it's like, I don't even own a suit. I don't own one. Like,
I don't own one either.
So like, so when I lived in Chicago, which is now, I moved here in 2014. So probably like 2012, I saw like this Armani suit. I was like, man, I'm going to get it. I'm never knowing you're going to need a suit or whatever. Yeah. Thankfully, I didn't get it. It's like, I would have never worn it. I still have like, my tuxedo that I got married in. I'm like, oh man, I'll be able to wear this a bunch of times. I've never worn it since. You know?
Yeah.
I would never get it.
So many places require tuxedos anymore, do they?
No, and the thing is, like, I wasn't going to rent a tux to get married, and it's like, who knows what kind of bad vibes happened in that thing, you know?
Oh, yeah.
How many crappy marriages, you know? It's like, I don't want any part of that. It's like, I'd rather spend whatever. Take my...
Everything's starting to make sense of my Vegas wedding and how I got divorced. It was a rented dress.
I had no money back then, you know, so it was a big deal to buy that tux, but I didn't care. I was like, I'll save. I'll put it on payments and do whatever it takes.
Oh, man. That's so funny.
Who we want to bring in next?
So funny.
Up to you.
Flip a coin. Who do you want?
Anyone?
Lots of great cappers still to come on today.
Anyone need to go? How about Jovan? We had him late yesterday. Early today.
Sounds good.
I think. All right. But so while I'm getting this slide ready, so what was the highlight of the day yesterday, Joe? It seemed like you guys were having a really good time over there with Mom. She's she's obviously
firecracker.
Yeah, she's a bundle of energy.
Yeah, she is.
That's for sure.
Yeah, you know what? It was just a great day overall. My step family was there too, so it was awesome to see my little nephew opening his gifts. He's 3, and that's always the best, giving little kids gifts and how excited they are for everything.
Well, our guests start arriving today. We are the family or extended family that lives in Maui, and now that Christmas is over, oh boy, the doors open up, and I got to say, I don't have kids. You know, I don't have kids, but these are all my kids are coming over the next 2 weeks. We've got cousins' kids. We've got the nephews and nieces are coming. The friends of the nieces and nephews. Everyone's going surfing and ATVing in Maui and everything. They're all stoked and ready to go. Just a lot of energy. So we'll see how this.
It's gonna be a fun house.
We'll see how it goes. I enjoy it. You know, it's always fun to see everybody, and they're always excited to be here, and you know.
So are you going to have family pop on for the halftime shows as well?
I don't know. It depends on what they're doing.
Okay.
So today, our cousin's daughter is coming with her boyfriend. So the last time she was here, the first time she came, we hadn't seen her since she was very young, and we get a text message. We're coming to visit her and her sister. Right? Our cousin's 2 kids. We're coming to visit. It's like, we don't even know what these kids look like. We don't know, it's like, okay, whatever. And they were just the best, right? It's like, we're like adopted them. So it's like, so she comes every year or so. And the last time she came, she didn't come last year because of everything that was going on. But this year, last time she came, she had this new boyfriend, and it was like we kept saying it was made up. So we called him George Glass. So today, her and George Glass are coming. So it's like we're gonna finally meet the actual George Glass. I think his name is actually Brian. But it's like, so
I love it.
We'll see if we can get them on for maybe the early halftime. I know they're going ATV in today this afternoon. So we'll have to see how that goes. But Jovan, welcome to the show. How was your holiday?
My holiday was perfect. Got to watch family, open up gifts. I just laid back and watched all people opening gifts, and I enjoyed that.
We have Jovan's going to be doing videos with us as well. Going to get him rolling. I think he's going to be a star on YouTube on our channel, and I think Jovan, like, of the people that we have on, he's a lot like myself. It's kind of like, we remember like every game that we have ever watched. It's like there hasn't been one game I've ever brought up on the show that's happened like within the last 10 years that Jovan didn't remember the exact game I was talking about. So it's like it'll be fun it's fun on the videos, because it's like what a lot of people don't realize, that some of the people, they write down everything that they're going to say. Right? They have this script, and they just basically are reading it or try to read it as they go. But I don't have any script. I have no script. I have nothing. Every one that I do is off the top of my head, and then I have some stats that are ahead of me on my screens. That's about it. And I think Jovan will be able to do that too, and I think Kevin will as well. So I think that's what will make them really good on video. But we're excited to have you, be a bigger contributor here on that end and stuff. And I think people are going to enjoy it. But, what do you think? NFL Week 16 ahead here.
What I think about these slate of games, it's really up in the air with a lot of them, to be honest. But I think there are some gifts that the bookmakers have, afforded us in this one, just based on, COVID and injuries and, just the grind of the NFL as it is in late December.
Yeah, it's like these are the.
So,
Go.
Oh no! I wasn't gonna say.
What I always say is, I always like the end of the season. The reason why I think the end of the NFL season is a little bit different is because I don't know when it happens, but at a certain point, fantasy football season is over, and the refs put their flags in their pocket, and everyone stops getting this extra special treatment. And that pass interference, the ticky-tack call goes away. Now, last night we saw ridiculous holding in all of the games not called, by the offensive line. I mean, the Colts offensive line held up there against the Cardinals. They held on every single play. I mean, it was abusive, and they didn't call it. We've seen games where a lot less has been called. So, I've always felt that there was a run where wild card teams were winning Super Bowls. And I always thought it's like because these were the better teams that, caught some bad breaks because fantasy football season, the refs are, calling all those pass interferences so there can be more touchdowns.
There was a blatant one with Chandler Jones. He got clearly held. And it was a 30-yard pass play that extended the drive, and they went in for the touchdown. The coach did. But it was so blatant. The referee was right there. He just didn't throw the flag.
They did not.
And it ended up being a touchdown. And that was, one of the differences in the game. That and, Matt Prater missing 2 field goals.
Yeah, I also thought that I thought that Kyler Murray, I don't know what's the matter with this guy. It's kind of like they have told him not to run. So he's not running as much. And it's like at the same time, the one play, the fourth down play, where he's running backwards and tries to throw it over the middle. I mean, everyone is wide open. The guy, he's a baseball player. He has an arm, It's like, just throw it out there, you know? It's like, or take a shot of being able to sidestep these guys. You're faster than all of them. It's like, I don't know. It's like they've coached him out of what was working.
Yeah, and I don't understand why either.
Because I should be the coach, Joe. That's why.
You should be.
This is why you don't. This is why. And then now here's going to come the argument, right, from the Cardinal fans and from everybody else. This is why you don't hire a college coach that was fired from his alma mater. You know, it's like that's what they did. You know, they hired a college coach, not like a guy that had won the national championship or something. They hired a guy that was just fired from his alma mater, which is a tough fire, right? It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, you could see the difference in coaching in that game too.
No, absolutely.
Frank Wright, you know, yeah, it was no comparison.
No comparison.
Especially in the beginning of the game where basically the first 15 plays are scripted. You know, it's like, okay, 7-0 automatically, basically. Or, I don't know. It just I don't know. It just seemed in that game, Arizona had their chance. Once they got their foot in with them, they had their chance, and it just didn't go well.
Yeah, well,
and meanwhile, Indianapolis, they did everything possible to not win the game, but still won it handily.
They got the non-calls, Indy did. They also got the calls because there was also some really tough calls that went against the Cardinals. The negation of the interception, which ended up in points. You have, a bunch of other things as well that also went the Colts' way. And then, when you're at that level, it wasn't like the Jaguars versus the Cowboys or something. When you're at that level, those 2 or 3 plays, those opportunities that you missed, those are going to be the difference. Most NFL games are they say decided 5 points or less. That means 2 or 3 plays decide that the entire game. And I always believe in baseball the same thing. It's just 2 or 3 plays. Everybody's good, on these teams, regardless of where they sit on the depth chart. So it's just, when Prater misses that field goal at the beginning of the game, when you've driven down the field and you come away with nothing, that's a problem. That's a huge problem. Anyways, I'll be staying away from those freaking Colt games for a while. What do you got for us today?
Yeah, so I was actually going to touch on one game, but it was a public play, and I just got bad vibes out of it. So I'm going to audible and talk about this Buffalo Bills New England Patriots game, and I'm on the over in this one. Last game went under. It was that windy game where Mac Jones only threw 3 times, but in this one, if you look at the first game, the Bills were able to move the ball on the Patriots, but the Patriots, it was bend but don't break. They held. But I think in this one, both teams are going to be able to move the ball down the field relatively easier than the first game. These two coaches just don't like each other. Sean McDermott doesn't like Bill Belichick, and Bill Belichick probably just looks at Sean McDermott as, you're just another guy. I've been running this thing for 20 years. And I'm gonna run you. So it's just, it's just one of those things where both defenses are good. 2 of the best in the league. Patriots, the number 1 scoring defense in the league. And whether or not there's a defensive score, I think that this 43 is gonna get hashed and surpassed. And it's gonna, this is basically for the division. It's for the AFC East. So you don't have to really deal with the weather like that in this one. You're going to see both of these teams get to the 20s. Sometimes when you're dealing with these over-unders, you expect the under, but it just doesn't happen like that. And I think that's just how it's going to go down in this game.
Joe?
Yeah, I can see it going over too, especially with how low the first one was. Someone in the comments said it's rumored that Belichick is out. Has anyone seen that rumor? Because I couldn't find it online. rumor that he is out with COVID and won't be on the field today coaching. So I'm not seeing that. I do like Buffalo in this situation, though. I think they come back and they come back strong in this one. I just like what I see on both sides of the ball for Buffalo over this Patriots team. I think Patriots defense is strong, but I think Buffalo is going to be able to get the ball moving better in this game. So I know they don't have a great run game, more of a solid passing game, but I think they can get it done here. So I'd lean over and on Buffalo in this one.
I don't see this Belichick news anywhere, but I don't, but sometimes people are way ahead of me, so I certainly believe it. If it, I believe it's possible. I'm not saying I believe that it is the case, but I certainly believe that it's possible. I mean, that's where we are. But we know how to cure COVID, and that is, especially if you're a coach, the way that COVID was cured, Nick Saban did that. They had Georgia on the schedule that week, and all of a sudden he was miraculously cured. So, just schedule that big name opponent, have it a big game. My guess is Belichick's going to be fine with it, an AFC East divisional opponent and first place on the line. My guess is he is 100% healthy and ready to go. Seems to be the way that it works.
And even if he's not, they have Josh McDaniel basically coaching, waiting, had New England, so they're pretty good hands. They're well coached from the top, to bottom with their assistants. So,
well, absolutely. We saw what the Saints were able to do without Sean Payton against the Bucs, right?
Yeah, but Belichick's guys generally don't do well, when they come out from under him. They generally have not had any kind of success. They mostly get rung up.
That's absolutely true. But it's the in-house. It's a little bit different situation when you're in-house and you're running a game plan with Belichick. If he is out, as a one-off, I think they'll be fine.
So you had Charlie Weiss, and then you had Romeo Crennel, and then you got McDaniel. You got
bad.
Yeah, bad. And the guy from the Lions. Oh boy, what a disaster that was. The guy with the pencil.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That was rough. Matt Patricia.
Yeah.
Oh
Patricia.
Man, he's crude. He's
looks like
you call him the guy with the pencil?
He is the guy.
Does he always have a pencil?
He always has the pencil behind his neck, but he always has the It's always laminated. The sheet is laminated that he's got in front of him, but he's got the pencil behind the neck. And it's like, I don't know. It's like, great.
Oh, that's funny.
It's true.
Yeah. It looks like Brian Flores is going to be okay, though.
Oh, yeah. He's the exception so far.
Yeah.
So what? But
it's been a long list of bad results from Patriots assistants. Yeah. Absolutely true.
I think this is going to be a hell of a game. I went back and forth with making the Bills a premium pick today. I went back and forth on it. I honestly thought that they were the better team in that first game. I just think that they got outcoached in that game. We look at that first game, and the Patriots really only got the one touchdown. They went for the 2-point conversion and got it. And that really was the difference in the game. It was a 14-10 game. They kicked the extra point there. It's 13-10. Buffalo was on like the 8-yard line there at the end of the game. It's not like they didn't have a chance. Remember and then he got sacked. And so they were right there. They drove down the field. They had their chance to win it. But had they not gone for two earlier in the game when they did get that, and it was a long touchdown. It wasn't like one of those drives where they drove down the field because everyone's like, oh, he only threw the ball 3 times in the game. I got news for you. Bob Greasy only threw the ball 7 times in Super Bowl 8. They only threw the ball 7 times the entire game. And the thing, so it's been done before and on a much bigger stage. But the thing is that the Patriots touchdown that they scored in that game was a long run. It wasn't like a grind it down, punch it in, like, this epic drive or anything. It was one long run. And that was really the difference in that game in the 2-point conversion. And getting that 2-point conversion, like I said, really was the difference because it went 14-10. It would have been 13-10 if they kicked it. And he made it. Anyways, I love this stuff. This is what it's like. What do you do all day? It's like pretty much this is exactly exactly that.
Talk football for a living, talk sports for a living. God love it.
It's like my wife, she doesn't, she's not a football fan or anything like that, but she has heard all of these things. She's heard them all. But that's exactly, So you should write them a email. Shoot them an email. So far, my emails have gone unanswered, except for Commissioner Manfred. They did say they would get back to me, but he never did. Never did. I still think that my idea for Major League Baseball is the best idea that they've ever had, and it would save their product and be the thing that takes baseball back to at least not where it once was, but it will make it twice as big as where it is today. And I think that my idea was you take those 2 months where they're the only game in town, and every single day of the week, regardless, because they already do it 3 to 4 days a week where they already have daytime weekday, right? You make sure on those other days that you have a game that starts at 12:30 noon or 12:30 Eastern time or 1 o'clock Eastern time every single day, and have a game that starts at 4 o'clock Eastern time every single day. Just 2 games. So that Twins, Mariners game that no one's going to watch, you throw that thing at 4 o'clock on Eastern time on a Monday, everybody cares all of a sudden. And now with sports betting, across the United States like this, believe me, people are really going to care. So the interest in that game that would just be an average, just another cupcake on the shelf, is now the game. And it's kind of like, and if you have that every day, it's just going to snowball. And it's like, we'll get back to you. And that's why they're on strike and all these things, because they don't listen to these great ideas by me. I think it's a good idea.
Exactly why.
I think it's a good idea. I don't know. I'm sure
they already play daytime baseball. Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday.
Exactly. But the thing is, so here's the thing: is that it will hurt the gate, right? So here's the argument: it will hurt the gate and the parking, the selling of the pretzels, the peanuts, all that stuff. But if you do the math, each team would only have to take 2 of these games in order to make this work. They'd only have to go Monday, Tuesday, there's only 3 days a week where they're not doing it, or 3 to 4 days a week. If each team took 2 of them, it would be enough to cover those 2 months of doing it. And then you would take the TV revenue from those games and split it amongst the teams. I mean, how freaking hard is this? Because it's going to increase. The revenue for those games, because of the interest that will be brought upon those, the amount of revenue that you could bring in advertising and all of those other things, as well as the sports betting handle, which would be off the chain for those games. Like Monday Night Football, it doesn't matter who's playing on Monday Night Football. The handle's off the chain. It's, it'd be the same. It's like, we'll get back to you. Never got back to me.
What should be implemented this year?
I sent Adam Silver the idea for the bubble, and I never heard back from him, but we did it on the show. We sent him the email on this show. I said I wanted them to do it here. I was like, do it here. We're in a contained environment. We have empty hotels, empty vacation rentals. Bring the whole league, their family, whoever, to our island and play. And they did it. They did it in Orlando instead.
Yep.
Same thing. They had an empty place. Just did it there. It actually was a better place to do it. But, he never wrote me back. Someone else probably had the same idea. It's my guess. But I thought it was a pretty good one. Anyways, what are you selling today?
Got 7 NFL players that I really like. Like I said, a lot of these games are touch and go, but I believe that the bookmakers have, afforded us, a way to get some money. And, so I got 7 on that side. I also have 3 NBA players that I like a lot also. Same deal. You got to factor COVID into these games. But, with factoring in these COVID, situations, especially in the NBA, I think that there's 3 that's on point. So, look, pick it up. Let's get it.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us. And, of course, we'll see you next week. And like I said at the beginning of the segment, we'll be seeing you on video on a daily basis here at PickDawgz. I'm excited for that.
Absolutely.
All right.
There for it.
Thanks, everyone. That was Jovan Burtz. He's having a great season. Joe?
Yeah, he absolutely is. So head on over to PickDawgz, you guys, to get his best bets.
I kind of like not having as many people coming on and take a little bit more time with everybody.
Yeah, so do I. It's nice.
40,
Get a nice
40
catch up in here.
45 minutes in, we've had 2 guests.
Yeah.
I guess part of that's because I'm back and I never shut up.
We're on the roll for a 2-hour show.
Yeah,
It's okay.
It happens.
It does.
All right.
For sure.
We'll bring in Big Al next. He always has a lot of wisdom for us and information. So, so how much tequila actually did you guys go through at this?
Ruffalo.
Yeah.
It's a Ruffalo all the way, but it was good tequila because I remember Christmas Day. So I told my stepbrother or brother-in-law that if he had changed out the bottles, he was going to be in big trouble because I needed to remember yesterday. So, but he didn't. It was nice top shelf tequila.
We've got Big Al with us here today. And, week 16 in the NFL, we saw yesterday the calls and the non-calls. Definitely we're not balanced out in the late game. I guess depends on what side you were on. If you're okay with it or not. I was not on the right side. So I'm certainly not making excuses. I'm just saying I was on the wrong side of it. But good morning. How are you?
Doing well. We're out here in Joshua Tree for the weekend. So I don't know if you're a fan of the band U2, but I was surprised that the streets actually here in Joshua Tree do not have a name.
Well, there you have it. Isn't that the album, right?
Well, the album it's the album with the song Where the Streets Have No Name.
Yeah.
And you're driving down the roads, and it'll say make a quarter mile, make a right on Burn Street. Well, there's a dirt road, but there's no street sign that says Burn Street. You have to just make the right on the dirt road. And there's tons of streets around here that don't have any street signs or names. It's crazy.
I've never been to Joshua Tree. I've listened to the album a bunch.
I've never been here either. It's they've got this national park here, so we went out to the national park and had a good time.
Sounds like it. I haven't been off this island in 2 years, so just roughing it here in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. But someday I'll get back off the island. And we know it's going to... I feel that we're closer than we are further away, even though it doesn't seem like that sometimes. But we do have, a lot of teams with protocol, and a lot of players out, and a lot of this, late changes, and, we're hearing, Belichick possibly out, but I still haven't seen anything on that. You hear, you're going to hear rumors. You're going to hear rumors. You're going to hear all sorts of grumbling and rumbling. What do you do when you have a bet in baseball? They cancel, right? If the pitcher gets scratched. So what if you have a game like I don't know, say you have the Ravens +2. And they say, all right, Huntley's out and the line goes to 7 and you're there at 2. What do you do?
You eat it.
Eat it.
No, you eat it. I mean, it's to be honest, this stuff is random, and half the time the random event is going to help you and half the time the random event is going to hurt you. We saw that yesterday, for example, with the Milwaukee Bucks game, right? I mean, the line was 3. Then the news comes down that Giannis is going to actually play when no one expected to play. The line goes up to 7, lands on 4, lands in the middle. If you're sitting there at Boston +3, you just eat it. I mean, it's just, half the time you're going to be helped, half the time you're going to be hurt. You can't chase it. You already made your bet. That's just the way it goes, really.
So well, I guess depending on who the player is and what the circumstances are, there might be value there. Any chance?
Well, no, because the value, value, that's 4 points. I mean, so you're not getting a better situation. You're not, all you're doing is, the line's been adjusted. Now, if you like the bet again, if you like, if you took Boston, for example, at +3 and you like Boston at +7 with Giannis now in the lineup, okay, you make the bet, but now you've got 2 bets on Boston. So did you want 2 bets on Boston, or did you just want 1 bet on Boston? If you understand my point.
No, I get it. I understand.
It's.
I'm a chaser. I can't help myself. I'm not that disciplined. I wish I was. I think I still just at some point I'm just more. I don't know. It doesn't take a lot to get me to the window. Anyways, got a lot going on. Speaking of good news for sports bettors, the Giants plan to bring back Joe Judge for another season. If you're really ambitious, you can spend today looking to see if you can get next year's season totals. Grab that under on the Giants right out of the gate here. So
I like it right away. Get it?
Yeah, I mean it's like
sure.
Why not?
Yeah.
I don't care what the number is. I like the under.
I have to agree with you there. Wow.
It's going to be single digits, low singles. We've lost Al. He's back.
Yeah, it's a little unstable here. We should probably try to.
All right. What I was saying is we should try and grab that early Giants under wins for next season because they announced Joe Judge will be back. So let's see if we could find one somewhere. But anyways, what do you got going? What do you got going on today? We better get you rolling.
Yeah, I'm going to take a look at the matchup between Tampa Bay and Carolina. Both teams coming off straight up and against the spread losses. Carolina lost by 17 against Buffalo. Tampa Bay shut out 9-0 in its previous game. Now Tampa Bay is installed as a double-digit road favorite. But when you take a look at how defending Super Bowl champions have done, this goes back to 1994. And when priced from -7 to -13 points, they're dreadful. They're 17-43 against the spread, but even worse, if the defending Super Bowl champ is off a point spread loss, they're 2-22 against the spread. So they don't bounce back, in that point spread range. So people will want back here. I just don't think they're going to. I think the number's a big number. And we're going to take the points with the Carolina Panthers.
Joe, what do you think here?
Yeah, I completely agree. Taking the points with the Panthers makes most sense. I know both teams have players out on all sides of the ball, but we haven't seen Brady looking like Brady. He is coming off that shutout loss to the Saints, but he's going to be without Evans, Godwin, Fournette. Like he's just out too many weapons that he is so used to getting that ball to. So I like the Panthers plus the points. I heard rumors Sam Darnold might start. It's listed as Cam Newton. Don't have much faith in him, but I think he can cover the spread here. So I like it.
Yeah, I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to take Tampa. I just think that the last image we saw Tom Brady throwing the tablet, whatever, and it's this guy is a winner. And I know the Bucs have not been a great road team this season. They were terrible last time out. And I just look for him to bounce back. I think they're just going to find a way. And to me, the Panthers, without McCaffrey are just dreadful. It's like they create this entire game plan for the entire season that's inflexible. And it's like this guy, I'm going to say this, and I know this is going to be super unpopular. I'll probably get the nasty emails and death threats on this one, but I'm going to venture and say that Christian McCaffrey is becoming a bust, and he's a problem. When you have a guy that doesn't play, it's a problem. It's like This guy makes a ton of money. He's a great player. It's not like he's Ryan Leaf and he comes in and he just stinks, or Brady Quinn or something, right? This guy is a great player. But if you don't play, then what good are you? And this guy doesn't play, and that's a problem. And I don't know what it is. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a football coach. I'm not a player. I'm not whatever. But I'm a fan of the game, and I'm a better of the game, and all of those things. And it's like you can't root for someone that doesn't play. And my guess is throughout his career, and I don't know these stats. If I'm wrong, hammer away at me. But I'm going to guess this guy's missed more games than he's played in his career.
It seems like it, right?
I don't know. He has a world of talent. He is, when he plays, he's not just a good player, he's one of the very best players. But if he doesn't play, he's a bust in my book. And it's like, it's not like they don't need him. You know, it's not like he's a player that can make a difference because he's very tough. You know, he's strong, he's fast, you know. And it's like, I know that they said he worked out like crazy, you know, when he got injured, like crazy to come back. So I'm not like pinning it on him or anything. And it's not one of those things like where, you know, yeah, he signed us some fat contract. Now he's out, you know, eating pizza, smoking cigarettes behind the training facility. You know, it's not the case, you know, but at a certain point, you're a football player and you have to play football.
Yeah. You got to wonder from a coaching standpoint, what kind of player they'd prefer. You know, an elite player like that steps on the field makes a huge difference, or someone who's stable week in and week out, you know, is not going to get hurt. It's going to be there. So,
well, you know, I mean, I think it kind of goes, I think what you want is the guy that's like Justin Herbert. It just shows up every single week and plays, you know, I think that's what you want. And I think, you know, it's it's easy to spot these players. And you know, you guys can, like I said, hammer away. I don't care. I'm going to tell you, you know, you're always going to get what I say and feel. But you see these players that opt out of bowl games, like Christian McCaffrey, and this is what you get. This is what you get. You know, a guy who's afraid to get injured, you know, but he doesn't want to play in his bowl game. And this is what you get, right? You get a guy like Justin Herbert, and it's like, why in the hell is he in there up by 40 points? You know, because
he has big shoes to step in after Phillip Rivers.
No, this was in college. This was
played on everything.
This was in college. You know, up by 40 at Oregon. Why is he still in there? It's like, you tell him to come out. You go over there and tell him. You know, you want him to come out. You go over there and tell him, because it's not going to be fun for anybody. It's not going to be fun. Yeah, I don't know. Just my take. I think the Bucs roll him here. I don't know. It's like,
the interesting game.
Yeah, it's certainly not.
I'm interested for this.
Not a premium play for me. I'm just, I don't know. I think the Bucs bounce back.
You know, I also want to quickly talk about an NBA situation that I find is interesting. I know it's our NFL show, but you know, it'll be quick. Chicago Bulls are playing with revenge from a 32-point loss to the Pacers. Now Chicago's favored by a healthy amount, and when you get an NBA team that's favored and playing with revenge from a 25-point or worse defeat, and its opponent is off a straight up and against the spread loss, those favorites have gone 114 and 81 against the spread. I think Chicago here minus the points is worth a look.
Awesome. Joe, any thoughts on this one?
I haven't looked at the Bulls versus the Pacers yet today. Later game for me. So something I might look at later. I always like the Chicago Bulls, and I would lean to them right away, and I'd be leaning to this over. I think it's 218.5. I haven't got the trends behind it, but I think I could see this one going over that total.
I really like this NBA card today. It's like I was still going through it this morning, but I think there's a lot of quality on here. I put one NBA play out, but I could easily go 3 or 4. Easily.
Yeah, I've got 4 myself.
Do you?
I think it's a pretty deep card. You're right.
I really think it is.
The Chicago was my 5th favorite of the plays, but I've got 4 premium plays, and I've got a 3-game package. I also have another NBA standalone game. I've got 4 plays in the NFL, including my NFL total of the month. I've got, and then I think I mentioned yesterday, I've got my college football game of the month for December already posted. It goes on Tuesday, along with another bowl play. So a lot of good stuff coming up. This is the best time of year, and folks should join for a week or for a month, team me up with one of the other handicappers here at PickDawgz under the 2-for-1 handicapper special, and just, you know, ring in the new year with a lot of winning.
Absolutely. Or, you know, even go longer term. You know, the longer term you buy, the better deal that it is. You know, Al is living proof. Cheapest isn't always best. You know, that's for sure. You know, it's like,
well, I'm not a $2 handicapper, Mitch. I mean, you know, I'll never be a $2 handicapper.
I don't even know what to say to that I won't get a lawsuit. It's like, I'm trying to think, what can I say that I won't get sued? It's like,
I don't know. That's why I'm just laughing. There's nothing I'm gonna say here.
There's a guy, and this guy is a sports memo guy, and he, you know, called me up and he wanted to know if he could get my plays for $2. And, you know, I know he's a sports memo guy because I used to sell there a while back, and they actually publish the names of the clients on the back end when the handicappers see their sales reports. So I knew this is a sports memo guy, and he wanted my plays for $2. And I just said no. Like I said, I work 18 hours a day. You know, I'm not one of those guys that rolls out of bed and throws darts after 15 minutes of looking at a newspaper. And you're not going to get my plays for $2. I've got 43 years of, you know, like research, you know, in my brain. And it's, you know, if you want my plays, they're actually a little bit more expensive. You can take a guy who's going to roll out of bed and, you know, put 15 minutes into it, or you can, you know, use my research. And that's just the way I feel about it.
Yeah. I feel the same way. Those people that are on the newsletter that get my newsletter, you know, I'm not one of these newsletter pushers. You know, I encourage people to sign up for it because we're going to have a lot of, I kind of laid off of it for a little while because, well, I got a million excuses, but the bottom line is I laid off for a while. But in my newsletter that I sent out about the year-end thing that I was doing, I just wanted to let everybody know we don't run specials. We don't run coupons. We have one sale a year. It's our Christmas and July sale. Once in a while, we'll have a special here or there, and like buy a yearly. I'll throw in a year consensus report, you know, stuff like that. But you know, most of the brands of the things that I like the most, they just never go on sale. You know, it's like that's just the bottom line of it. And I'm not talking about like, you know, TV sets where you can go to Best Buy and it's like everything's always, you know, some kind of discount. I'm talking about in general, you know, the better stuff. It's like, you know, the car that I drive. You know, you don't go there and it's like, oh, we're having it's like you know, they might have special financing once in a while or something like that, but they don't have like, they're never on sale, you know. I live in the asterisk state. You know, it's like free shipping, except, you know, it's like, and it always says like the one that I want, like I could be looking at a microphone. I used this example the other day. I'm looking at a microphone and like all the microphones are on sale. It's like all microphones, you know, 20% off, excluding the one I want, right? It's always that way. And it's like, I think that with the website, you know, I let the cappers price where they want to. We don't have set pricing, and I let the cappers price where they want to price. And I think that we're fair. That way we've ended up where we are fairly priced to the market for the quality of the product that you get. And how is something worth $2 on Monday, and the same piece of garbage is worth $30 on Wednesday? I mean, how is that? How is that possible? I don't even understand it. I mean,
I don't know.
It's like, what price is it? It's like if you send a coupon out every day, what price is this? Because I missed the coupon, then it's more expensive for me.
It becomes the value of becomes the value of what you're giving out.
Yeah, but if I send a coupon for 20% out every day.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Your prices now, the standard price should be that.
Well, why are you?
It's
why
not
is,
worth.
Well, why are you paying one price and I'm
price.
paying a different price because I don't know the coupon code? So it's like that pick's less valuable to that person, or you know.
Yeah, if you're selling $2 picks on Tuesday, that's the value all week long.
Well, I don't know what day.
In my opinion,
I'm not allowed to.
Anyway.
I don't think I'm legally allowed to say what day they sell what for what dollar amount or who does. But I'm just saying if something's $2 one day and it's worth then that capper to me is worth $2. Their picks are worth $2 every day.
So Big Al, Walter's not running to a treat to pick your picks, eh? Is that what you're telling us?
No, and Walter's at the dog sitter right now, but no. Well, all of us, and I think that's also something that maybe a lot of the customers don't understand is how much work like guys like me and Jovan and Brian and Mitch, you know, how much work actually goes involved
and
in
Joe
doing
and
this.
Joe too.
Yeah.
You know, I mean
it's Mitch knows, I'm sure you can see with the emails I'll send Mitch when I load my place, I'm working at 4 a.m. every day, from November through April in the high season. I work 18 to 20 hours a day, every day, 7 days a week. It's not an easy job. It really isn't. The job doesn't work if you're not going to charge money for the work product.
Yeah, I think what we have is, and we're a little off topic here, and that's okay. That's what we're known for being off topic. When I'm on the show at least. But I just think that I just, the reason why I can ask Al these questions is because he is a veteran in the industry and he has kind of seen it. And it's like, you know, there are all of these new people in the space. There's all these new people in the space that have come from nowhere. And there's very few people that own their property anymore. The people that you see on these videos and all these other sites and stuff that are sending you these emails and doing stuff, these people, they don't own this, you know. They're just some guy that they used to own it or something, and they just throw them out there, you know, because they're on some employment contract. So they don't have any skin in the game, is basically what I'm saying. You know, they're on a salary.
Yeah.
And when it's like, so someone asked in the comments, and Joe deleted them. You didn't have to on this guy, but it's all
no,
right.
this guy's been going all morning.
All right, so he wanted to know if we bet on our game. You know, if we bet, it's like, of course I bet. I've done these shows from Vegas where I'm at the window betting and where I have the app showing bets and stuff. I'm just not one of these guys that posts my ticket after the fact and puts green check marks and you know, across the board and throws my losers on the ground. It's just not my style. I don't sit here and, you know, I won so. The guys who talk about how much money they won, these are the guys that I know don't have any money. You know, I can tell you that much right now. You know, I don't know. Like, I have friends that are billionaires. You wouldn't be able to pick these guys out from a diner from anybody else in the entire room. But the guys that don't have the money, that maybe got lucky here and there, they're the ones, you know, with the stack of cash or whatever the case may be. That's probably the only cash they have.
Yeah.
But
there's so many accounts I laugh on Instagram where you actually can tell it's fake money that's just piled up. So guys, watch for the scammers.
Yeah.
Please.
Well, and I probably have a different take, but from my perspective as a handicapper, as a pure handicapper, I've got handicapper friends who do bet and handicapper friends who don't bet. And for me, it's all about the process of handicapping. And I respect someone if they're a good handicapper, regardless of whether or not they're betting on the game.
Yeah, I think it's just, I think it's the same way. It's different people are going to bet different amounts, you know, and different people are going to have different things at stake, you know, on these games. And I think it's easy to go to a window and make a bet. At the same time, it's, you know, stick your neck out there in front of, you know, 8 million people and say the Colts aren't going to score a point in the second half. but you know, it happens, you know, it happened.
Yeah.
Anyways, Al, you gave out your picks for today. We got sidetracked there. I always get super emotional because I care. You know, people are always like, "Oh, you just say this, you do this."
Yeah.
It's because I care, not just about my company and our community. I care about you guys. You know, it's like, it's offensive to me what's going on out there in some of these sites. It's offensive. Anyways, thanks, Al. We'll see you during the week and next week. Always appreciate it. You can get Al's picks at PickDawgz.
Okay, I'll talk to you later, guys. Good luck today.
Enjoy the rest of your vacation, Al.
Oh, by the way, Joe, I don't know if you remember last week you asked me if I thought if any of those big dogs could win outright, and I said I had a big dog, and I didn't even think my team would win outright. And my against the Arizona Cardinals, so what do I know?
I love it.
I didn't even think they were going to win outright, but you know,
Yeah.
I was just thinking about that. Oh, well.
Yeah, what a game that was, hey?
I'll talk to you next Saturday.
See you next week, Al.
See ya.
Thanks, guys.
That was big, Al. And so, you know, the reason why I said that is that, you know, not only do we not do $2 picks or anything like that, we don't even allow handicappers that sell $2 picks anywhere, you know, on our website. Yeah. So that's why people ask why this guy's not here or this guy's whatever. It's like, they're worth $2. That's why.
Yeah.
But anyways.
Yeah, I agree. It devalues the product when you do that.
No, it devalues the person, you know. devalues the person. It's like if I had a second, you know, I have 2 websites. Okay, I do. I have Sports Chat Place and I have PickDawgz. It's like if I said, well, you're good enough for Sports Chat, but you're not good enough for PickDawgz. Or you're good enough for PickDawgz, but you're not good enough for Sports Chat Place, right? And then it's like, you know, and then, well, if you're on this site, though, you have to sell your picks on, I don't know, we'll just pick a random day out of a cup and say, okay, your picks are 35 cents today. It's like, we're just not going to do that, you know, not going to do it. I don't care. I'm not playing. And I just don't think it's acceptable, you know. It's offensive to me because
I agree.
It's offensive to me because I put in the work, you know, I put in the time, you know, I put in the work. People can say whatever they want about me, but they can't say I haven't put in the work or the time, you know?
No.
It's like Well,
how many times did you go live on Christmas Day yesterday? You know, holidays, you're here day in, day out, Mitch.
Yeah, but it's like how many Christmas days have I gone, you know? And a guy like Al, how many New Year's Eves has he spent handicapping games for New Year's Day, you know?
Yeah.
It's like how many Christmas Eves has he spent, you know, handicapping those 5 NBA games? How many, you know, it is a tireless thing. And I mean, the fact that we had that day off on the 24th this year, I mean, it was actually pretty cool. I got to go out and walk the dog and, you know, it was just kind of like a pleasant surprise. But
I have to tell you, I felt kind of lost for a couple hours there, though. Felt like I had to be doing something and there was nothing to do. So definitely a different day.
We're going to bring in Al Ninos next. We go from one Al to the next. And, of course, we generally like to fade Al Ninos on this show, but we'll have to see.
You like to fade. Don't put words in my mouth.
He hasn't even given his pick out yet. I'm already fading. It's like I could be on the same side. Who the hell knows? It's like...
You got all your apps open?
Already got the other side, no matter what.
Already?
I've got multiple boards rolling right now.
Busting his chops before he even gets the word out.
He hasn't even given the pick. I'm already on the other side. It's like...
Oh man, you need that to flash up on the screen as soon as he starts talking. Mitch.
Well, Al, how you doing today?
Doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing good, thanks. What's the good word?
Well, we'll be looking at this Bears at Seahawks game here. Got a lot of things going for us here, so I don't know what stat you'll be able to pull out. There may be one, but I'm not even worried about it too much. Yeah, Bears, they've gone under in 9 of their 14 games. Seahawks gone under in 10 of theirs with one push. Out. Marquise Goodwin's questionable with a foot injury, so have to wonder how effective he'll be, and of course it'll be harder for him to beat the corners and safeties deep downfield for those big plays with that foot injury if he does play. Seattle's pretty healthy offensively, but I think they'll be pretty happy to just get the win and walk out of here with that. Just run the clock out, and especially in this weather here. Not too windy. I'm seeing 9 to 12 mile per hour winds, but it will be snowing as well, so that will make those winds that much colder. And as I said, the Bears don't offer too much offensively. Their big play guys out. Justin Fields questionable. It's not looking good for the Bears in this one. It's a strong lean to the Seahawks too, but I definitely like this game to go under a lot better.
Joe?
Tough one with this game. You know, we have a Bears team that's riddled with injuries, Seahawks as well. I think Russell Wilson is due, though. I would be leaning on him and the Seattle Seahawks to get the win and cover here at home. I know they haven't been great at home, 2-4 on the season. And they're 3-7 in their last 10, 5-5 against the spread straight up. But this Bears team, 2-8 their last 10, 2-8 against that spread, 2-5 on the road against the spread. I'm gonna have to go with Seattle to be able to pull something off. Finally, look like a winning team here.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to roll with the over on this one. I just think that Seattle defense is so bad. It's so bad that I could see the Bears, you know, getting some chunk plays on them, and because that's what they're going to have to rely on. And I think, Russell Wilson, he creates plays and all that stuff. I do believe the weather could be a factor, but Seattle's built for the weather. And they have some home run hitters on this team. We saw, Travis Homer, scoring. And we saw, we've seen these receivers just come up with miracle catches. This just looks like a really, really low number. It's like they're baiting in on it.
It's come down. It opened at 44.5.
Yeah.
It's down to 41.5 now, but I still like it.
Over 8-2 in the last 10 meetings between these.
That was the stat I didn't like too much. But again, as I said, I'm not too worried about it. I think this one stays low. I don't see much offense here.
All of the money, everything is on the under in this game. Like almost every bet is on the under here. I just don't.
And there's everyone riding with Seattle.
I just don't see the house standing on the street corner handing out dollar bills. I just don't see.
Well, they're trying to drop the number, but I don't know if they can drop it low enough.
Yeah, I don't think it. I don't think they care. I don't think they care. I think they're just going to start collecting money. I think it gets to a certain point. But yeah, I'm on the over. And I'd see it was automatic anyway. I mean, I don't.
We all knew you were on the under as soon as Nino said the over.
No, he said under. I'm on over.
Sorry, opposite way. Yes. There you go.
Yes, it's a tried and true strategy. I think we're about 500.
Sounds about right.
We're about 500.
Yeah, I think I lost by the hook yesterday, so that stung a little bit. And all the other leans I gave out though came through. Yeah, it sure does.
What else you got for us?
That shows the importance of getting the best number as well, but because that number had gone up too, it opened a bit lower than that and crept up, and then you did get the best of it at the end there. So what I have for you guys, I have a 7-pack, just 3 in the NFL and 4 in the NBA. As a couple guys mentioned already, I think there's a lot of great games to bet in the NBA, so definitely a lot of value there. The unders have been pretty good. I have one under I like a lot if you want to check that one out. And I have them obviously separately if you're just into one sport. And now's a great time to get on a long-term pass or pair me up with the other favorite capper with all these sports going on. Lots of great picks every day. We had a little break, but it's back and rolling now.
All right. Well, you'll be on the drive-through during the week. This is a great week of sports, as Al was saying. And, I guess next time we'll see you, it will be New Year's Day. Is it?
Sounds about right.
I think it is, right?
Yeah, it will be.
Crazy, right? I didn't even say Happy New Year to everybody.
Yep.
Wow. Happy New Year to everyone that's been on the show. I didn't even think about that.
Hopefully, I'll see you this week for the Puck and Crazy show.
Yeah, we had to take a little break
crossed.
from that one, unfortunate as well. Still on that break, but yeah, looking forward to getting back on that.
Tuesday,
That's
right?
awesome. Hopefully, knock on wood, it'll be back on Tuesday, but Al, I know that you're probably in Wednesday, Thursday, right?
Those are probably my best days, and again, we'll be trying to make it as often as I can.
Awesome. Can't wait to have you on.
All right.
Can't wait to be on.
It's Al Ninos. Thanks for joining us. And, of course, you could catch Al at PickDawgz.
So I have to apologize to anyone that can hear snoring. My dog is sound asleep in the chair in the corner, and he is snoring louder than I've ever heard him snore.
All right. Well,
he's right out. I apologize.
Or we could, this show, we could move this one back to 11 o'clock. We'll have to talk to everyone. I think on Sunday. We could move it back an hour. It would be fine. But, I don't know. I guess we'll have to think about it. No, who knows? Because once NFL is over, then college hoops will be starting like at noon, so it fits. Get into those weird couple weeks, where there's a lot of college hoops on Sunday before March Madness starts. All right. Well, who do we got left? Is it just Brian?
Yep.
All right. Just Brian. We'll could leave Al Ninos' name tag on there for Brian, but we'll switch it out.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Everyone knows Brian.
I'm in a horrible mood today.
Uh-oh. Everyone be warned.
I won't say
Why are you in a bad mood? It's Boxing Day.
Well, the good news is my son had a nice Christmas. He enjoyed himself, but
So-
when you go 1-4 on your plays, it's not a good day.
Nothing fun about it. I've been there, done that.
But I think there's a few quality games today. I wouldn't say that I'm in love with this NFL card or NBA, but I think there's a few gems, a few diamonds in the rough today, I believe.
Well, what do you got going on?
Well, the free pick. I got 2 written down. I don't know which time we have, but at least one we'll go with.
I got all day. We got hour and a half before kickoff. I got nothing, but I got guests coming today. So if I'm busy, I'm busy.
I'm gonna go with probably a little bit more of a public play here. I'm gonna take the Eagles here and lay the points. This is a massive number for an NFC East rival game. Typically over years, Giants and Eagles games always seem to come down to a field goal either way, but I think tonight the Eagles just take advantage of a very weakened Giants team here, and there's no love lost here between these two teams. So I really look for the Eagles to really run it up here with no mercy. Eagles still alive here at 7-7, 4-1 over their last 5. Giants 0-6 against the spread in December. They're also 1-4 on the road against the number. Eagles 4-0 cover 4-0. Against the spread following a loss, so they're good at bouncing back here. I'm going to take the Eagles here, lay the number. I think anything under 14 points, I think you should get the cover here with the Philadelphia Eagles.
I'm seeing 11s, 11.5s, 12.5 out there.
I think this morning it was at 10.5. But
yep.
Yeah, it's moved significantly.
There's a few 10.5s out there if you really hunt.
I think if you get it under 14, I think you should be all right with the Eagles today. But
this is why you got to shop lines. Points bets at 10.5. Fox bet 10.5. Well, DraftKings is at 11.5, depending on what side you want. So it's like here you are. If you want the Giants, you can get 11.5 instead of 10.5. I mean, this thing lands smack on 11, which if I had that either of those numbers, that's exactly where it would be. We know that.
Yeah, I think Eagles at 10, I'd probably look at. Giants at 11.5. I'd be over all day long. I actually like that better than relying on this Eagles team to run it up. I think we're going to see a lower scoring one, 40.5. I'm seeing for a total, and I look at the trends for these two teams, 5-1 in their last 6 meetings to that under. I really do think we're going to see a lower scoring one. So give me the under in this. I do think the Giants can keep it tighter than 11 points. So if you can get 11.5, I like the Giants plus those points.
I kind of got to go the opposite of Joe here on these. Gonna fade Joe. Gonna Al Ninos. Gonna give her the Al Ninos treatment. We're gonna. I like the over and the other side because I just think that what we saw last week after I was pretty brutal about Joe Judge in my video on the Giants Cowboys game last week. What we saw actually though was that what I said in my video and what I've been critical of him about is that he's so conservative. He's so conservative that he basically coaches his team out of giving them the opportunities to win. It's like, and now now you've coached yourself into this position where your games are meaningless. Now it's like, so what exactly are you protecting yourself from? I hate coaches that play to not lose. I like coaches that play to win, right? And it's like Joe Judge always plays not to lose. He always takes the conservative approach. But last week we started to see where at least they lined up to go for it on 4th down. Well, then, they're the Giants, so they're going to have illegal motion, and now, you're in an unplayable situation. But at least they lined up to go for it a few times. And even deep in their own territory. It's like, if it's 4th and less than 3, they should be going for it every single time. What do you have to lose at this point? What do you have to lose? The worst thing that can happen, you draft a little higher. I mean, you just signed a contract. You're good.
Yeah, I just don't know where the points are going to come from the Giants end today. But
well, they have Kadarius Toney should be back for this one. He's a good player, and then they have.
But Mike Glennon with 3 touchdowns, 7 picks, a 53 rating.
Well, that's where your points come from for the Giants right there, is that, this guy can throw a pick six like no one's business. He was also a tremendous fumbler. He really isn't a very good quarterback. Remember, he played in Tampa, and who was it? They're like, oh, yeah, we'll sign this guy. He's going to be good. It's like,
no, my Chicago Bears signed him as a starter for one.
Gosh.
So, I just think I would never want to lay a lot of points with the Eagles. They're just not a great cover team. But I think against this Giants team, it's just.
This is just really not a discussion you want to have on an empty stomach. It's just not a good one.
No, I had a pack of crackers.
Yeah, the Mike Glennon talk. It's like, oof, feeling a little queasy. It'd be interesting to see Ian Book tomorrow night.
Notre Dame product.
Is another one.
Well, he's got the body build for quarterback.
He stinks.
Oh no,
he stinks. He stinks.
I would have liked to see Drew Brees come out of retirement to play a game. That would have been interesting.
Ian Book, you think that you
Yeah, but everybody's gonna be thinking that. So maybe I'll be on the Saints tomorrow.
No. They started Trevor Siemian over this guy. This is how good he is. Okay, if they had the choice between him or Siemian.
Siemian has starting experience.
Yeah, losing starting experience. He stinks. This Ian Book, ooh, he's bad. He's real bad.
Well, he must not be too good if they're out there talking to retired players, but yeah, I don't know. I could be talked into the Saints here at this number. This is pretty. I don't know. We'll see what goes on tomorrow. I don't know. I might be an Ian Book backer tomorrow. New Orleans never easy to play on primetime game.
Well, you got another pick for us?
Yep, I'm gonna go. This is an NBA free pick. It's a pretty strong lean here. I think early indications on this game that people are betting the Memphis Grizzlies here pretty hot and heavy on the road. And I'm aware that there's lots of COVID issues here for the Kings. But at home, they are a better cover team. And I see this one as a one-possession game either way. And we were getting 5 in this spot. Grizzlies have been playing good basketball, but have not fared well lately as a posted favorite, going just 1-4 against the spread over the last 5 games as a fave. Kings 23-5, last 28 when they've had 3 days or more rest. So I'm going to take the Sacramento Kings plus the points here. I think they get the cover. I don't know about the win, but I'll take the points.
Joe?
Yeah, I like the over in this one as well. I think we're going to see a higher scoring one. 224.5. I think it easily hits 226 in this one. We look at head-to-head, they are 4-0 in their last 4 meetings in Sacramento. And I can see the Spurs keeping this one tighter, if not getting the flat-out win in it. So give me the Spurs plus the points and the over.
I think a team like the Grizzlies, you take the trends and you just put them on a piece of paper, you crumple them, and you throw them in the garbage when you're missing your best player for that long, and now he's back in the lineup, and those trends won't include any of the games that he's played in, and that's certainly part of the problem. And what we generally see in the Grizzlies in this type of spot against a team like the Kings that gives it up in bunches is they'll come out and they'll go up by about 25 in the first quarter, and they just will not look back. And I believe that this is one of those games. They probably win by 40 plus. Anyways, what do you got for sale, Brian?
Rob, I'm going to bounce back today. Yesterday ruined my Christmas, but I got my Pound Zone NFL 3-pack, 3 best bets in the NFL. I don't think it's a deep card, but there are some solid opportunities to make some money. So get my 3 best bets for $40 at PickDawgz.com premium picks, or subscribe to the VIP, where I'm definitely doing at least one on there. So make sure you guys are subscribe to the YouTube VIP plan.
Gilbert Lopez says that it's not Glennon starting.
Well, he's on my list as the starter.
Let me see who I have as the starter. I have Glennon starting. Who is starting then? If it's not Glennon.
Who's starting for him?
Oh, the guy, Jake Fromm?
Oh, my God. They just said it. He's headed to a backup role today. Huh.
So it's Fromm. You know what?
Well,
so Fromm actually, so I watched the game last week, and Fromm came in. Of course, freshly cut from the Bills and signed by the Giants. And so they were in a prevent zone right? So he drove them down the field, and then they had the chance for the backdoor cover at the end of the game. Like, he drove them all the way down the field where they had the chance to backdoor the Cowboys in that game. And, nah. It's like when the Cowboys actually played defense against him, no. But when they played, so he started like on his own 2 or 3 yard line. I don't know if it was 2 or 3, but it was deep in their own end. And he drove them down the field with, well, I mean, Jake Fromm beat out Justin Fields at Georgia. So it's, you have, he drove them down the field from inside. I think it was inside their own. It was definitely inside their own 10. If it was, not even inside their own 5, he drove them all the way down the field. But it was a soft prevent zone. And then once they got down by the goal line, and they thought that the Cowboys felt like hey, these guys are going to try and backdoor us. It was like,
oh, it broke my heart.
Then they D'd it up, and it was it was the same Jake Fromm that got cut in Buffalo.
I don't think there's much of a difference between Glennon and Fromm, but
I think there's a big difference. I think Fromm has a better arm than Glennon. We don't know if Jake Fromm's not. We don't know if Fromm's good or not, because all we saw him was against that prevent zone. And here's a guy that the Bills had actually invested in, and and parted ways with him. And it's not like who's backing up? Who did he lose to? Matt Barkley or something?
No, the Trubisky, wasn't it?
Oh, God, yeah, exactly. Okay, exactly. He couldn't beat up.
Trubisky's a good backup.
Oh, come on.
No way.
No way.
Backup.
No,
in what world?
Yeah.
In what world?
Well, in the world of Mike Glennon's a backup quarterback, Trubisky can be a backup quarterback.
On what planet is Mitch Trubisky a viable option in the NFL?
I don't know how he even made it in there.
I when they drafted him, it was just like I just couldn't believe it. It's like, here's a guy with one. So Bill Parcells, who knows a few things about football, he never drafted a quarterback that didn't start for 4 years in college. He only drafted 4-year starters. It's like these days, and so it was kind of like when Mark Sanchez left USC, and Pete Carroll he wasn't mad that Sanchez was leaving. He was on the top of the recruiting world at the time. He just said, they said, well, what do you think of Mark Sanchez leaving the NFL? What are you gonna do? He just said, and they turned the story to make it sound like he was bitter that Sanchez was leaving, and he just said, this guy's not ready. He was never ready. And that's what you see these days. And Trubisky, 1 year starting at North Carolina, he was not ready. And here's a guy that would have really, if he stays in college and plays another year, he's a different quarterback today.
64 to 38 touchdowns, interceptions over his career. So as a backup quarterback, a guy that in an emergency spot, I don't think he's too bad of an option.
I'll tell you.
I'd rather have you in there, Brian.
Yeah.
Mitchell Trubisky's not that bad. I'd take him over Goff probably.
No way.
All right, well then you're on the Goff bandwagon.
Over Trubisky.
Did you guys hear Goff is out today? Tim Boyle is in for the Lions.
Tim Boyle. That's another guy Trubisky's better than.
I don't think so.
Nope. Lions might have a chance now with Goff.
And look at Carson Wentz yesterday. He's up for comeback player of the year. Another good performance.
Yeah, he definitely
anyway, I'm jumping all over the board
yesterday.
here. Trying to pick arguments.
Okay, like Mitch said, we have all day.
I like the Colts. I think yesterday the Colts hurt me, but I think Carson Wentz is, and the coaching staff, Indianapolis has them headed in the right direction. So.
Yeah, I've been liking what I've been seeing out of this Colts team, so we'll see.
That was a cherry on top of my crappy day. It was that Colts yesterday. Those fucking Colts yesterday. I thought Arizona had that one in a little bag, so. They got outplayed.
All right. Did you say what you have for sale?
Yeah, my Pound Zone 3-pack. I'm coming back today, and I'm going to end my holiday weekend with a good day. So.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining us. Joe, you got any picks you want to give? Anything you want to say to these nice people?
What do I want to say to these nice people? You're going to give me that kind of floor? No.
Sure.
You know what? I'm staying. There's one game that I have labeled as like completely stay off. So I don't know, Mitch, if you like this game at all, but the Jags and the Jets, we're looking at this game. Do the Jags actually want to come out and win this? But can you trust in the Jets? This is one I have so many question marks around that I am totally staying off that one. You look at both teams, bad defenses. Neither of these teams, though, can get points on the board. Total 41. Jets are the favorite. You got a premium in this one, or can you talk about it?
I can talk about it. I did this one on my 7 picks in 5 minutes. I led off with this one, and I took the Jags in this game. I just think that the Jets are this bad. They're absolutely terrible, and I think that I think the Jags. We've seen them have I think they have the ability to play better, and I think here you have Wilson versus Lawrence, so at least there is an interest here in this game. And I'm going to go for I'm taking the Jags here.
Do they have the motivation to win, though? That's my question mark, because I think they can beat the Jets. The Jets are terrible.
I got news for you.
Yeah.
These guys are playing for a job, and there's a million other people out there that would love to take their job. And I also believe that none of these guys are going to easily find they're not going to easily find another job that pays them as well as this one, or one that they enjoy as much as this one, or one that they've spent their entire life working to get. I don't think that professional players, unless you're like a superstar of superstar levels, which you're not finding on these two teams, are going to be not trying. I don't believe in tanking. The year that I tell this story all the time, and I did it. When we were when I was at the time. They're tanking to get Andrew Luck. Well, if that's the case, Jim Caldwell, who coached the Colts those years, he wasn't around to enjoy what he tanked for. They fired his ass. And that's what happens in this. And they do the same thing. They cut players. You think you think, what do you think goes through these kickers' mind when they miss these field goals? It's not like, oh crap,
devastation.
3 points. It's like they're going to cut me. They're going to cut me, and they miss another one. They're going to cut me. It's the first thing that goes through their thing. It's a cutthroat business. Guys that were superstar players 2 years ago are out of the league. It is just the way of the world.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting game. So I agree with you. These players don't want to come out and get the loss, but I wonder if there's going to be some bad coaching calls. But then coaches are on the hot seat as well. So
in Jackson,
the Jets are just that bad.
Well, I would say that the Jets probably have a more comfortable position as far as head coaching. They have something that they're building for and that they're invested in. While the Jaguars, the head coaching search continues now. Now that they, I still can't believe that I couldn't. Once again, it's like you bring in a guy like Urban Meyer. What do you expect? What do you think is going to happen? I mean, look at his track record. With players. 85 players arrested at Florida over 2 seasons. And Aaron Hernandez was on that team and wasn't one of them. It's like, what this is who you bring in, and what do you think is going to happen? I don't know, but
do you think new head coach comes in there and lets go the offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators, brings his own staff in?
You clean house. Jacksonville is a tremendous opportunity. It is a tremendous opportunity. It's a decent enough location that you can attract players to come play there. You're going to have picks, and you have Etienne coming back next season. You have a quarterback that is athletic, and he has won before. If you surround him with the right pieces, he can't carry a team on his back. We saw that in the LSU National Championship game. We saw it in we've seen it this season. But he can make plays. He does have all the tools if you give him the players. We've seen him do that against Alabama, in the national championship game. So
Trevor Lawrence needs the weapons.
He needs the weapons. He needs help. You can't just. This is back in the day. A guy like Trevor Lawrence wouldn't have started for 2 to 3 years. He would have sat there under somebody else. Aaron Rodgers didn't start for 2 years. 3 years, right? We heard it last night. He sat there for 2 years under Brett Favre. I remember when Favre got injured against the Bears, and Aaron Rodgers played the second half of the game. It was the first time they saw him on the field. And I bet like crazy on the other side of the game. And ended up, and the difference in the game, I believe Brian Urlacher returned it was either a fumble or an interception for a touchdown. And that was the final score of the game.
How did he do in that game? I don't remember that.
Maybe
game.
Maybe that was a different one.
Yeah.
I think it was Packers-Jets was actually the game.
Oh, okay.
He didn't do well.
Yeah. Well, you've convinced me because I was looking at a stay off. I think you're on the right position with the Jags there. The more we've talked this one out.
I hope so.
Oh. Well, yeah, because I look at this Jets team and they're terrible. So this is why it was a stay off for me. Looking at that motivation for the Jags, you're right. These players don't want to lose their jobs.
No,
right?
They're closer to being a winner in Jacksonville than they are further away. They have a lot of pieces. We've seen them play well at times. It's like it's a golden opportunity if you get the right coach in there. It's like if you're going for a college coach, I don't know why you wouldn't have gone for Dabo Swinney over that jerk.
No clue.
Let's get lap dances on
Poor
Twitter.
decision making.
Let's get lap dances on Twitter. Some chick in the bar. That's my grandpa. Anyways, what the hell? Anyways, man, we always lose focus here, but in a good way. But thanks everyone for joining us. We appreciate all the cappers that joined us on the show: Kevin Thomas, Al Ninos, Javon Burtz, Al McMorty, Brian Bittler.
That was it today. Brian, Al, Big Al, Javon, Kevin.
All right. Boy, we covered a lot of ground, though. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. Make it a winning day. We'll be doing the premium and VIP right after this. So make it a winning day. I'll see you guys in a few hours at halftime with my partner in crime, Joe Madden.
Bye, guys.